Hey, what's up, y'all? Pretty chill stream today. Uh, are we back? Are we back? All right, cool, cool. Yeah, I was saying pretty chill stream today. At least we'll see. I guess it depends on what all you guys' comments and questions are. I mean, you can't have big news every day. We got some stuff going on, but some important stuff to talk about. It's a chill time in the market right now, or is it? That's kind of what we're talking about today. And like I always say, I never try to make thumbnails or anything that is misdirection or clickbait or whatever. Yeah, we're gonna talk about a few of those things today. So hopefully everybody's having a good morning, a good week. I've been having a pretty good week, even though, like I said, we had a funeral yesterday, but it's pretty good. Like I said, she lived a long life, had some interesting singing and a lot of eventful stuff. And even I told the group before, I think even on the stream, I was saying, I had a funeral today. I said, yeah, when we do funerals, they are not an hour long in and out. They're not. They take a while. Um, but anyway, it's been a good week. No bad news, or anything so far. It's been a pretty good week. So just accumulating and see what this market does, and you know we're gonna see what's happening. But I'm gonna talk about a lot of things. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about a lot of different viewpoints today about how the cycle is going to work. Some of them are interesting. Some of them is just like to make content, to be clickbait, or to be like I talked about the other day, sensationalized. I forgot my water, y'all. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, Bitcoin is it's still ranging this, it's I feel like it's gonna be between this 60 and 70,000 for a while. I know a lot of people who were new, and even some people last cycle, maybe they weren't here when the last halving came, they came later in the cycle. People were thinking that like right after, some people were thinking like on the day of the halving, like Bitcoin was just going to skyrocket to 100,000 or something like that. But it's not how that works at all. I think we could be ranging in between this area for a while. I keep saying, I've been saying it for like 3 or 4 months now that I still, I'm not really looking for anything major to happen until around July. I won't even say major then, but some movement or whatever. I feel like this May and June could be a little, it could just be sitting still, but it may be different. I don't know, but I just try to do my best to get in position as I talk about all the time. So I'm ready for when things happen. Matter of fact, let me put that in my notes. All right, let's move on. So let's talk about this kind of big story, but it's nothing really to worry about. So I saw this multiple different places. It's talking about the FBI warning Americans or people against using non KYC. They said money transmitting services, but they're pretty much talking about exchanges and all that kind of stuff. And so people, some people just read the headline and just started panicking and going crazy or whatever. This is this is not like it's not like they about to come knock on anybody's door for using a non KYC exchange or whatever. This is one of those false. I keep talking about this on the channel. Those false protection warnings when they're just telling you something to act like they're protecting you, but what they're really trying to do is scare, retail investors or other people out of the market. And to say this clearly, I'm going to talk about two things here. So they're trying to scare people out of the market earlier, but what they're going to do is later on in the cycle, as they do every cycle, that's how some of y'all came into crypto. They're going to flip the script, and there's going to be a whole bunch of bullish news about crypto. Later on the cycle, when they do want retail investors to come in, they don't want the retail investors to come in early. They want you to come in later in the cycle. And it's crazy because I talk about this a lot in politics. Between any type of politics, like people have short-term memory, and I used to hear people say that about politics. I was like, no, nobody would forget something that happened 4 years ago But apparently, when you're distracted with so much by your job you go into every day, people you don't like, and all this different stuff, people can forget stuff in like 6 months. I'm not that type of person though. I'm always recalling stuff that they did. But they can just do this every 4 years. For the first year, they'll talk crap about crypto, and the fourth year is bullish everywhere on the news, and that's when retail FOMO's in. And I know some of you guys are asking, like, is that going to happen? Like, I've asked myself the same thing. Don't every cycle you're going to ask yourself that, is it going to be the same this cycle? Are people going to FOMO into crypto? Yes, they are, because that's just how human nature works. Once they start seeing it all over the news, they start seeing the money that people are making in it, and they see that crypto's no longer dead, they're going to start FOMOing into the market. And to clear out one thing I didn't clear up yesterday enough, because I went on a tangent about this, about saying what I was trying to say is, at the beginning of the cycle, I think it should have been clear though. Like when I used the Gala reference at the beginning of the cycle, you should not be all over people's live stream shilling the tokens you're holding that you found or whatever, or that you're investing in early or whatever, because you want time to accumulate those tokens. Like I said, a lot of you will forfeit 1,000x because you want a quick 5x. You want to tell everybody about this token you just got in, so they pump your bags up to a 5x. But if you just kept your mouth shut and kept accumulating, you could have had 1,000x instead of a 200x. But a lot of people don't understand that, because you just practice the tactics that you see other people using and realizing it's not the thing you should be doing. But later on in the cycle, just like how the news outlets are going to be talking bullish about crypto later on in the cycle, near the end of the cycle, of course you're probably going to do that. You're going to be all on people's lives and talking about, buy this coin because you're trying to get people to pump your bags. But what I'm saying is, right now is not the time to get people to pump your bags. But anyway, so they put out this kind of news, and it's like FBI, PSA, like people get fearful of that type of stuff, especially they see FBI or whatever. But yeah, they just saying like, oh, don't transact on these things because you could lose money. But if you're watching this channel, if you're in the Patreon, if you've been in crypto a while, you know how to navigate this space and be okay without losing your money. So it doesn't really apply to you. But it's a scare tactic that you're using. I don't really want to talk about this. I know everybody's talking about it. But it's just, Consensus just sued the SEC. Well, I'll just pull it up. They just sued the SEC or whatever, because this is stupid, man. Just talking about did any sue him because SEC is saying it's a security, but I'm like, Gary and others already said it's not a security. So even though this is somewhat semi big story, it's just like dumb. It's okay. Sorry, because that's what the thumbnail or the topic of this live is about. It's just the misdirection or whatever. It's a whole lot of misdirection that's going to be going on early in the cycle, and maybe you guys are busy too, and you can forget it, and you might say, "Hey, Zoe, what about this?" Most of the stuff you're gonna be hearing right now is just misdirection to get you not to be bullish, get you not to buy. Especially if, listen, it all works together, because Bitcoin's been running, altcoins have been bleeding. So some of you have already, to be honest, some of you already lost conviction. Some of you are already a little weary. So they're just adding more stuff on top of that so they can make you capitulate and sell out of your positions or whatever. But if you're on this channel, you're not Patreon, you should know this is not the time you should be selling. So they're going to keep using these little scare tactics to make the market stay still. As I've been talking about, I said when we first started this cycle, and especially when the Bitcoin ETFs first launched, me included, everybody's like, man, this is going to be a super fast cycle or whatever. But I always said that I never knew what was going to happen. And I was saying how they could use the grayscale outflows to slow down the cycle. But it looks like, for whatever reason, yes, I understand the crypto cycle, stock cycle, bull run, all that stuff. But what I can't tell you is I don't know exactly how these people at the top of the top of the top of the top are thinking. But it seems like they're really trying to stretch this out to be a traditional cycle. Of course, those that have been in crypto, and you know how crypto cycle works, a lot of people are going to be trying to sell out their positions early because they don't want to get dumped on. They got that PTSD. But I still feel like they're going to try to draw this out to be a standard length cycle, with all this between the Bitcoin ETF, so slowing down the inflows. Grayscale, they're using Grayscale to sell out of Bitcoin positions to make the price do whatever. Then they got all this crazy news right here, stuff they're trying to use to scare people out with the FBI, the SEC, all the lawsuits on altcoins that they're saying are securities. Then on top of that, one of the main things is people are so bullish because they were saying we were supposed to have all these. I'm trying not to get too deep in this stuff because some of y'all don't care about it, but they were trying to see if we was going to get all these rate cuts this year or whatever. So That's what everybody started this year bullish on. Last year they would be like, hey, next year we know, as in 2023, referring to 2024 as next year, we're going to get a lot of rate cuts. And I think it was like 6 rate cuts at first. And, we didn't get any. And then even for me, I was like, all right, around May, June, we probably get that first one. Doesn't look like any of that's happening. Then they're cutting back the number of rate cuts. So all these things that were supposed to be bullish news, it seems like they're pulling back um, to draw the cycle out. So keep people bearish or keep people from not buying because they're trying to slow down the momentum of the market. But best to believe, I still believe. I know we talk about what's going on to the ETFs, but I feel like just like we have a different way of buying stuff, they do too. So I still feel like they're collecting during this downtime or whatever. Because a lot of people saying at the beginning of the market, like, oh, the ETFs and the big dogs are buying our bags. In a way, but trust and believe they were buying when Bitcoin was 15,000. So don't just think that they just started buying at 42,000 and $50,000. I feel like they've been buying it. They're buying it now and stuff. Even though we seeing like for 2 days in a row, they're seeing like a zero inflows into the ETFs or whatever. They're getting it from somewhere. They're not about to be, the idiots, and they're not about to be the exit liquidity for anybody. Granted, even though they're not looking for probably the 400, 500% returns that traditional Bitcoin investors are, because 20, 30, 80% is good for them. And be honest, they've already made 80%, most of them. But yeah, trust and believe they're going to try to draw the cycle out. So this is just more misdirection to slow down the cycle. I don't want to talk about this one either. Just saying how, BlackRock is closing in on Grayscale's holdings of Bitcoin and they're almost even, blah, 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 blah. More misdirection here. Excuse me. No, actually, this is one I just covered. I had 2 stories about. Well, it was Ethereum and then the whole MetaMask thing, or whatever. But I was going somewhere else with that. Maybe I'll think about it later. We'll get to that. And this is something else I've been talking about with. I've been talking about how Solana's had all the partnerships with Visa or whatever. This is just more stuff, like I said, that your cousins and your friends are going to be coming to you talking about. Apparently, Visa has they launched a dashboard like showing the different stablecoin transaction volume or whatever. And like I try to talk to some of the people that I'm trying to get into crypto, like loved ones and friends that I have or whatever, and trying to tell them that crypto's not its own standalone thing, like it's out there on its own. Like I always reference the stuff they can understand, like the partnerships with Visa, Shopify, PayPal with their stablecoin and stuff like that, so people can understand what's going on. But the sad thing is, it's just going to be a lot of people that find out late. It just is what it is. They're going to find out late that they should have been in crypto early. But I'm pretty sure somebody's going to hit me up about this in the next 2 weeks. Here goes more misdirection. So yeah, like I said, my thumbnails are never clickbait. So this same thing happened with meme coins a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. It may have been months, but weeks ago when they first launched what I'm saying, the Bitcoin ETF, like people was like sending Bitcoin and different stuff and BRC20 tokens over to them and stuff. But yeah, so you got these runes, the runes that we've been talking about or whatever, that I really haven't gotten too deep into, but they've been sending the runes tokens over to the black. Am I even on screen? I'm probably not even on screen. I'm just lounging around. But yeah, so they've been sending the runes tokens over to the BlackRock wallet or whatever. And see, what people would do is, you got to be ready for these tactics, because they always do this kind of stuff. They were like, hey, this is the runes that BlackRock bought. They didn't buy these. Like, the people just sent it there. And maybe it works for them. Maybe it pumps their runes or whatever. But you just got to know when this stuff happening. Right now, the market is so slow right now that some of y'all probably don't even realize how valuable this stuff is. But it's the same tactics that's going to be used when we're in the peak bull. I was talking to somebody in the Patreon about like how I want to communicate stuff now so people understand how I communicate later in the bull run when stuff is moving fast. You're not going to have time to say, oh man, this probably fake, because you're going to be in full FOMO mode. You're going to be seeing stuff going up 10x in a day. And it's going to be multiple projects. It's not going to just be that one or just some AI tokens. It's going to be a lot of stuff. And you're going to see somebody put out some fake news, but you got to remember that this stuff could be misdirection. Trying to get you to FOMO into something that's not really what it says it is. What is this one here? I probably missed this one. Let me skip. So, all right, let me just use this as an example. I don't want none of y'all get pissed off or nothing, but I'm gonna just use this as an example as well, though. I haven't dug too deep into this, but apparently they're saying, you know how Solana was really taking over the meme coin space for a minute. Pretty much overtaking Ethereum, which is pretty much the big dog in the first round. Smart contracts and all this kind of stuff where everybody was trading meme coins before. So then Solana took over, and then we had the whole base craze or whatever. And so one of the biggest meme coins on base is Brett. And apparently, where has it went? I don't know if it's. I should have looked this up before I even started the stream. My bad. I mean, listen, I'll be doing a lot of stuff, but let me look it up now. But anyway, there's been this news on Brett saying that, and you got to realize this is the old school meme coin game. Yeah, the price is falling. So this is the old meme coin game that people play. When they launch a meme coin, they give a bulk of the supply to their friends, the developers, whoever, and then they pump it up. And even though other people are making money, they're making the most money, and they can slowly sell off their positions, or whatever, and they can make millions and millions of dollars. So a lot of people were talking about this on Twitter today. I didn't get a chance to dig into it deeply, but it says there's a thread about Brett was not actually a fair launch meme coin, and insiders were holding 81% of the supply before most people could even buy it. So they have came out and said that that wasn't the case, and said they were trying to they had sent to some kind of contract so snipers couldn't snipe it before it was launched, and other they were sending some, I guess, to influencers, to exchanges, and whatever they were saying to pump it. But a lot of people saying they're not trying to hear that, and that they think that I mean, that's to be honest, like I said, that's how meme coins traditionally work. To be honest, but it's like 30% down on the 7 day or whatever. But that's why you got to really look in these meme coins. And so I got some other stuff to cover about meme coins, and you probably know where it's going. But it's just like I don't care what nobody says. I was one of the first people to say, "Hey, man, this is going to be really a narrative this cycle or whatever." But you still got to watch the ones you get into. I keep saying the same thing. And so if you think you having FOMO now, trust me, these developers are already planning. Um, they already probably have plans lined up, Twitters they've been building that are unmarked right now that you don't know about, that they're going to use to pump meme coins that they're not going to be pumping until um, probably 6-7 months from now. But it's already in the works. It's already planned out. They've already been building them or whatever. But you got to be in the know. You got to be following the right people. Know who to follow. Know who the scammers are. When you talk about FOMO into these meme coins. So, like I said, I haven't dug deep into this, but this is traditionally how meme coins work. So it's not me trying to FUD bread or anything, but it's just to bring about, like I said, you're gonna see a lot of misdirection, and you just go, I've seen a lot of people, even that I respect in the space. They'll be like, "Hey, man, look at this project here, whatever, whatever." And some of them been in this as long as me. Some of them may not have been, but I'll look at the project or whatever, and it'll be like literally 97% meme coin scammers or whatever, or just known scammers in the space. And then they'll be touting this as like a legitimate utility project or whatever. But I was like, I wouldn't buy that, because I'm just seeing the people that's on here. And so, but you got to know these different people that are launching these meme coins, because all you're seeing is a person that seems happy, and they just pumping the token. They got a big following. So you're like, okay, they got a big following. They seem happy about it. People seem like they're making money. It seems like it's a big community, and you FOMO into it. And granted, some of these you can make money on, but you just want to be careful that you don't get dumped on and people not using you for exit liquidity. Um, I got something else to cover about that later, but yeah. So I'm not trying to FUD the token. I'm just saying this is what everybody's been talking about. I got to talk about what the news is, y'all. Whatever the current news is. So that's what everybody's been talking about. I'm going to talk briefly about this. I already been talking about this before. I didn't dig deep into this, but because I've been following this, the whole the SUI has Let's see. Are we back? Are we back? Okay. Okay, we're back. I don't know. I can't even tell you what happened. I guess I'm trying to be known as the channel with the most bloopers. But I don't even know where I cut out at. Sorry, the sound is different. I don't know what's going on with this mic. I don't have time. It definitely had battery charge. I checked it before, so it should not have went out, but it did. Whatever. Where did I leave off at? I know I was talking about the Solana the Saga 2. Let's see, what was the story before this? I'm pretty sure that's where I left off. Jack Dorsey. I don't want to recap that. So anyway, let's go. So I was saying with the Solana Saga 2, I bought it like 30 minutes from when it came out. It pretty much has already almost paid for itself. Because I think when I got in the Solana Saga, I think it was 450 at the time. I think it's 500 now. But yeah, it's pretty much already paid for itself. And like I said, I'm just a supporter of Solana blockchain technology. To be honest, so it's not that I'm just bullish on Solana. I'm pretty sure probably all the phones that come out, I'm going to probably try to grab whatever. I was saying, when the first saga came out, it was out for a while. So I'm kind of embarrassed. It was out for a while, but I was taking care of so much family health stuff and whatever. Like I said, kicking out thousands and thousands of dollars trying to help some family members or whatever. And so I didn't get a chance to get the Saga 2. By the time the bunk craze started, man, they sold out and people was reselling them. It was like too late. And I want something brand new. I don't want one that's used or anything like that. So I kind of messed. I was upset that I missed the first one. So when this one came out, I bought it immediately as soon as it came out. But like I said, it's almost already paid for itself. I'm pretty sure more airdrops going to come in the future. And a lot of people ask, if it's worth it or not. But I mean, I think it definitely is. I just want to be early adopter of the technology. I feel like it'll also help me to understand more what's going on in the Solana ecosystem. Like I said, even though I have a couple of friends that is developers in Solana stuff, between that and you kind of you can really know what's going on or whatever over there in the space. So yeah, I mean, so not a financial advice, but I think it's a good buy. So that's up to you guys. I'm gonna blow through this one really quick, but kind of along the lines of what I've been saying for weeks and months now is that meme coins are really gonna be a narrative this cycle, and this is just talking about how a lot of Solana meme coins held up when Bitcoin's price was falling. But once again, you just got to make sure you're in the right ones. Don't just try to FOMO into any and everything you see. So this one is pretty dope here. It's talking about how Immutable X is offering up to $50 million in token rewards to Ethereum gamers. So they have this whole thing. As I guess it's going to be on certain games that they have on Immutable X or whatever. And I don't want to really get too deep into this, but I'm just trying to I try to just break stuff down, just so your mind is thinking the correct way. And this is what I'm saying with a lot of the gaming plays. Listen, it's not just gaming. And I keep saying this even about the AI. A lot of this AI stuff that ran, yes, some of them ran because of the AI craze. We had the NVIDIA conference that came up or whatever, but a lot of those plays were fake. And what a lot of you are not realizing is a lot of the legit projects are not going to start marketing and have bullish news like this. They're going to break it down over the cycle. We're not in the part of the cycle where everybody's trying to make their tokens skyrocket. As I keep saying, I've said this before on the channel, you do not want your token to run too early, because what happens is if your token runs too early and it's too high of a market cap, everybody coming in the market is going to look for something that's a lower market cap. Versus when a smart project knows how to build out their news slowly over the cycle. So you do want to build a big community and build a big community early on. This is what some people don't understand. They're like, oh, our community is big, whatever. That don't matter. If that market cap is too big, people are not going to be attracted to it. So anyway, build the news out slowly build your community. Now, when you feel like the market is about to go parabolic, you start building the community just a little bit more so you can expand it or whatever. But what you want to do is, I'm just throw out a number. I have not done any type of math on this, but I'm trying to say, so what you want to happen is by the time the cycle is right about to get to that parabolic phase, you want to be sitting, somewhere maybe 60 to 170 million, whatever, because that's still pretty low. And then it's a continuous pump, and then just skyrockets. So a lot of these projects like, man, we bullish because we big. Like if you don't want people coming in the market and your market cap is already at 600 million or whatever. And like I said, people keep saying it's going to be way more money in this cycle, Zoe, because all the traditional investors here, we're going to go to, 9 trillion market cap for all the crypto. I don't know. That could happen or whatever. As I keep saying, it's still an oversaturated market. So a lot of people be complaining like,
I see people on, like if you go on Coin Market Cap in the comment section, or you go to somebody's Twitter page, whether it's a meme coin, a gaming token, even some of the AI projects, and people just, what do I want to say, impatient. Y'all, I was about to say something else, but y'all just impatient. Come on with some bullish news. Give us an exchange listing. Give us something. Y'all not doing nothing. What are developers doing? Like y'all noobs. Y'all so new to crypto because that's not how it works. Like you're not supposed to be doing that right now. And some of y'all are not understanding this because you're just saying, well, the market just ran, so why isn't it running now? That means this project is not good. Like that's not how it's supposed to be. You're out there telling the developers they're not doing their job. They don't know what they're doing. Y'all terrible at marketing. We're not there yet. Nobody's trying to do that right now. So this is like a little dope piece of, I mean, even though I don't even hold a mutable X or whatever, once again, because it is a big market cap, I'm pretty sure it's going to perform well. I know a lot of people shilling it because they got big immutable X bags or whatever, but I don't hold big bags of this or whatever. But I'm just saying that this is some dope news for the project. But y'all got to realize, like, that's not where we're at in the cycle. Nobody's trying to list on 21 tier one exchanges right now. And so stop wasting your time nagging projects to list on a tier one exchange right now, because that's actually not what you want. Even though that's what you think you want, it's not what you want. You don't want a tier one listing right now while everybody's like, I don't know if I want to be in crypto, or maybe we're going back into a bear market. The markets, why would you list on a tier one exchange while the market is doing this type of stuff? And I keep saying that some of y'all are just, you think you was going to come in for a quick pump or get money for vacation, or your car, you don't like the car you got anymore, so you thought you was going to throw $2,000 in and turn it to 40 grand real quick and buy a new car. Like, you got to stop thinking like that. For one, I think that's I ain't gonna say what I think it is, but it's not smart investing. I'll say what that. So even some of the purchases, even me and my lady were talking about, like, that we want to make. I was like, I'm not buying certain stuff right now, even though I can. I'm not buying it right now unless I flip, a certain amount of money so many times over. Then I might, think about doing it or whatever. But I didn't even bring this article up to talk about this potentially bullish news for Immutable X. I'm just saying, like, people are going to slowly roll out bullish news. So stop thinking this token ain't doing that because the team don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to market. They should be, look, we only on one exchange. Like, okay, cool, because it's like we still at the beginning of the cycle. Like, let the exchanges come later. Just a lot of people just way too impatient. So now this one I'm going to talk about, because I have a specific instance that I want to talk about. That let me pull up my notes too, so I don't get lost in this. I got a couple notes, very few notes, but anyway. So traditionally, when we're in crypto, you'll hear a lot of people talk about this. If you've been in the space a while, you hear them talk about, okay, like a big whale just sent a big whale, like this article is talking about, giant whales are sending a $1.3 billion worth of stable coins to an exchange. And usually back in the day, that usually means that somebody's about to buy up a lot of something, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, or whatever, is usually seen as a bullish signal. Even for me, you've heard me talk about it on the channel. But what I will say is sometimes they will use this as misdirection. I keep saying I don't mind being wrong because I'm not trying to tell the future or come back and say I told you so. I'm just trying to give y'all some stuff to think about and consider. That I said I feel like for these next week or maybe even the next 3 weeks, being this week and the first 2 weeks of May, they might do a quick pump on the market and make people think, all right, we pumping, but they're going to sell in May and walk away and go on vacation. That's what I kind of think. I don't know for sure. But so sometimes they'll do stuff like this to make people FOMO and like, oh man, they just sent $1 billion worth of stable coins to the exchange. So let me front run them before they buy and let me buy ahead of them. And so they'll let you pump the bags, make it, and everybody else will think it was at one point, it was that 1 billion that went to the exchanges that's pumping the market. But no, that's just y'all retail investors that are pumping because y'all trying to front run what they're going to do. So I'm not reading this. I'm just using this as an example so y'all can see and have something to look at on stream. So there's that. And there's another thing that I saw people doing early on in the cycle. And I'm not trying to knock anybody. So once again, I'm not here to compete with anybody's channel or whatever. But I saw a lot of channels like trying to make a name for themselves as, trackers of Alex Becker and different people's wallets. Listen, once again, title the YouTube stream and the thumbnail is not misdirection, or excuse me, it's not clickbait. So misdirection is the topic of this live. And so what I think they even understand now, I can no longer build a channel off this because Alex Becker and all these big whale wallets know what you're doing. So I saw I won't even name them. I saw 3 or 4 of the projects that people wanted to say like, "Hey man, look, I got the alpha," but what it really was is they were like tracking Becker's wallets, and he knew it. He put certain stuff in there. We're not gonna talk about what it was, and then people FOMOed into it because they were like, "Yeah, I'm helping my Patreon out or whatever. Look, I got the alpha," and then that junk dumped because he knew y'all was going to do that. That project probably was never going to do anything. It was one of them was pretty decent. Um, it has some decent bullish news around it, but I just it's too much competition to market this cycle. I mean, it could catch on. I don't know. But what I will say is like three of them that were put in the wallet as misdirection, and then they just dumped it because he knew him. Let me just say what it. Listen, I keep saying this market is player versus player. If you think somebody here to be your friend, they're not. And so, like, but I watch Becker, and Becker's one of the big influences in the space. He knows the power he has, and he will use you as exit liquidity if you're stupid enough to be it. So, don't think that they won't put the tokens in the wallet that they've already been, and maybe they do actually hold them. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all FOMOing in, and they just dump it on you. So you can no longer play that game. You know, a lot of stuff is in this market to just misdirect you, just like the thumbnail says of the live. There's a lot of stuff is misdirection, so you can't always try to FOMO off that stuff and trying to because that's what happens when you're trying to do a little quick something. You're just trying to figure stuff out. I used to track wallets as well, especially at the beginning of the cycle, but I don't even try to do that anymore. Even though I have the ability, I even see some people's. I still have track of some people's wallets and stuff, but I try not to. You know, if I have already decided that it's a good project myself, and then I see that holding it, it could be like, okay, it's like, all right, that's a little bit more bullishness about it. But I found it on my own and that kind of stuff or whatever. But I no longer try to, play that wallet tracker game because it's usually misdirection. It's usually to set you up to be exit liquidity, but people still think it's a smart move. Oh, Becker or whoever's holding it, so I should hold it. Now this one here, somebody asked me about. This might be. Is this the last thing? What is this one here? Oh no, I just talked about that one. And what is this one? I'll talk about that last. So two things, and then I'll get to these comments and questions. It looks like most of them are saying no sound, but we'll get to the comments and questions in a minute. But let me pull it up. I didn't even pull it up. Let me be honest, I don't even know how to talk about this one. So I'm just going to kind of rant a little bit about it and try to get the points that I want to hit. So somebody asked me about the other day, they was like, hey, is any, projects you looking to come out or whatever? And usually I don't talk about that until they do so, whatever. But one thing that's annoying me, and I always tell y'all that I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know all the moves that people are making. I just try to get myself in position. But because of the way the market has been working and flowing between bullish and bearish, because it's always a volatile market. But I will say this cycle is the last cycle. I knew the tech. I knew what was going on. I invested in good projects. I made money, but I wasn't so much like realizing how token launches happen and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't keeping up with this stuff like I am now. And so there's like projects that were posted. Yeah, we're in April now. We're about to be in May. Yeah, we're about to be in May. I know projects right now that were supposed to. I know for a fact we're supposed to launch in February, but they're pushing it back now because they're like, oh, the market is not as bullish we thought it'll be right now, or whatever. Or then a lot of the projects that have been launching that did like airdrops, they'll dump immediately because people use that airdrop money to buy the dip on other projects or whatever. And so stuff that was supposed to launch in February has been pushed back to June and July. But this person is saying, I guess they're saying that they think the deadline for new token launches should be in the next 3 to 5 weeks at this point, or if you wait for another 4 to 6 months. Number one, it's kind of crazy because of the vesting schedules or whatever. I'm just saying all this to say that it's showing you nobody really knows how this market is going to work, man. And some of these projects are really big, so you would think they'll be connected. But once again, because we have traditional investors here, like from the regular world, like BlackRock and stuff, who's buying the Bitcoin ETFs, everybody's kind of confused how this cycle is going to work. And the only thing I can do is, like I keep saying, is get in early. And once I've made the gains that I've wanted to make, I told you, around the 50x mark or whatever, I'm gonna be trying, and of course, timing of the cycle as well. But all that stuff put together, I'm gonna have to tell myself that this market. Of course, like I said, we will continue to revisit this, but this market could go on and give me all the 200, 2000x, but you don't want to be greedy and get dumped on. I keep telling you, some of your favorite influencers, favorite people in the space Even people in the traditional finance, got dumped on last cycle because everybody was believing in the extended cycle last cycle. And I briefly caught, y'all probably know what I'm talking. I briefly caught before my stream as I was studying and get my stuff together. Somebody talking about a 10-year cycle. Y'all should know who I'm talking about. I'm not trying to hit none of that. If it goes 10-year cycle, I don't care because I've already made the money that I wanted to make. And then maybe if I want to ladder back into some other projects, then I'll do that. But I'm not falling for anything talking about an extended cycle, 5-year, 10-year, 3-year. I'm not none of that. I'm not going for any of that. That's when you get into the point where you're getting too greedy. Let's just throw out a scenario. Let's say you started with um, this is probably overkill, but say you started with 10 grand and you've made it all the way up to $1 million. Don't be a stupid person. And I mean that with all my heart. Don't be stupid. You started with 10 grand and you somehow miraculously worked your way up to $1 million. And then you hear the cycle could go longer. It seems like the momentum is still moving. And you like, let me see if I can make 2 million, 3 million. That's the type of greed that nobody needs. Like you went from 10 grand working a job every day and you got $1 million, maybe $1 million. I think with $1 million you could retire. If you're smart with it, you start your business and start some other kind of money making hustle or whatever. Like I said, with me, you got the faceless YouTubes and faceless channels that you run. If you want to do something like that, that's a good way to make money. So there's something for you to think about. Um, but just don't be greedy, man. Don't be greedy. But I will say I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because some of the projects that I was looking at really bullish on, they're either launching later in the cycle or they're launching at higher market caps. And so you got to play this market day by day. You really can't take a break in this. So these projects, and to be honest, I know about two projects that I'm really bullish on that are not launching until this fall, and I'm not gonna pick them up. Probably, I'm just be honest. I'm probably not because if one I know they are probably gonna be higher valuations. We'll see what happens, but I doubt I'll pick them up. So you gotta change, because sometimes you gotta change as you go. Um, but I don't know. I'm kind of tired, a little annoyed, especially what I got two projects I'm really annoyed with. I wish they would just go ahead and launch, but they're not doing it. So I don't need to cover this. It's kind of like covering something I already covered before. Anyway, let's get to these comments and questions and see what you guys talking about. I'm pretty sure like 90% of these are saying no sound. And I'm gonna let you guys know. The batteries are charged up. I don't know what the world happened. I still am pressing on the mic even now. I don't know why it's not coming on. The batteries are fresh and it's whatever. But hopefully y'all can hear what I'm saying. Um, as he said, good morning, happy Friday. Good morning, Azzy. How you doing? Bob said, happy Friday. I'm gonna tell you, I went to the funeral yesterday, and I still didn't even remember today was Friday because I think after going to the funeral yesterday, it felt like Saturday. So, thank you for the reminder that it's Friday, so I can take my little break. And that's another thing I've been noticing. It's kind of even hard to take a break. I mean, crypto is like that. It really is 24/7. But I do try to protect my sanity. But I've been finding that I have to at least coming back. I have to come back Sunday afternoon and kind of look and see what's going on. Because usually I try to come back like Sunday night, start looking around, maybe early Monday morning. I try to take the whole weekend off, but really can't do that. You can't really do that like you want to anymore. You kind of gotta be here to see what's going on. Who is this? Oh, I feel like some people knowing I'll be streaming and maybe trying to call you. Um, what's going on here? Tina said, "Hey people, finally the weekend is here." This week, I'll be honest. This week was kind of fast for me, so I don't really. I will say it's good because I don't really feel too tired. It's been a lot going on, so. But yeah, I mean, I like the weekend, get out and have some fun and do something different. Jay Morrison just stumbled on this new. That is not a new token. Are you meaning like new is from last cycle? That's not a new token though. Um, it's I looked around it. I wasn't the most bullish on it, but I have looked around it. But it's not a new token though. Unless you're talking about something else. Let me check. Is that some? That's another thing. That shows you how saturated the market is getting right now. That we have tickers that everybody like. There's projects with the same ticker now. Um, yeah, that's the only one with that ticker. Yes, that's not new. It's all right, but it's not something I'm really bullish on. James White said, "What's up, Zoe, Azzy, Bob, Tina? Happy Friday. Happy Friday, James. And here goes all the no sound comments. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea. Cause he said it's good now. Never mind. Sound, no sound. Right before the new article, got sound back. Let's see. Oof. It's crazy. Listen. I be really trying to have I be trying to have the pop news on Friday, so we go into the weekend happy. But it's just been kind of quiet, y'all. It's just the Bitcoin inflows, outflows. People trying to decide whether the market's going to be bullish or not. I know it's Friday stream supposed to be all exciting and but it is what it is. I always talk about too how between I wish people understood this, whether they got a YouTube channel or most YouTube channels, period, whether it's crypto or not, that overhyped stuff that people do. I understand you want people's energy to be. I understand. I talk monotone and it's probably kind of boring, but I'm just chilling. But that can stress your body out. I tell people it's the same as like when you get mad and can have a stroke. You can cause yourself to have a stroke that same way. I wish more people would do reports on that. Because me and my lady are pretty big into health. I got to get back in the gym too. I had a workout session the other day, but I'm usually the type of person, I usually work out 2.5 hours a day. I really got to get back, man. But I'm really big on health and stuff like that. I read up on this type of stuff. But yeah, you can cause yourself to have a stroke. Same way I understand you trying to push your channel, you're trying to be hyped, trying to get the people pumped up. But I'm not about to have no stroke trying to be a hype YouTube. It's not for me, y'all. But anyways, more money said the big squeeze coming. We're gonna see, man. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of people say that, but I don't know. I don't know. Indigenous said that's real. I'm not even sure what comment that was on. Best way to make money in the short term. I am not the person to ask that question. Not because I can't answer, but I talk about that on my channel a lot. That I'm not worried about the short term. Usually that's the quickest way to lose money is trying to make money in the short term. I don't know. Maybe farm some airdrops. And I know a lot of people think meme coins is a way to do that, but you end up usually losing a lot more money. Um, are you just talking about life overall or whatever? Um, I do it. I do a number of things. Well, most people don't do the stuff that I do. But like I said, one thing people can do is like I have some friends that do like faceless, what you call like NBA channels, basketball channels. People do the cute pet channels, stuff like that. But you gotta. It's still not even the short term because you got to build that stuff up. Yeah. I can't really answer the short term question, but there's ways you can make money on the side. Um, I mean, there's some examples there. Stuff that people want to watch. Cute animals. I've been seeing a lot of people doing like weather stuff lately. That's pretty dope because people be like, all enamored about hurricanes and tornadoes, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm on a tangent now, but short term, as far as the market, I couldn't tell you, my friend. Couldn't tell you, sir. Crypto Russ, I hope we get more May dips. I will buy in May all the way. I like, man. I need to make that a slogan. Instead of buy in May and walk away, buy in May all the way. No, for real, because I'm looking forward to some deals. We're gonna see if it happens. Like I said, and either people are going to try to front run it and they're going to start doing it this week or the first week of May, or either it's going to be the tradition. I feel like they're going to probably pump it the first 2 weeks of May, and then it's going to probably start retracing during the second, third week of May, and then kind of sideways through June. Everybody's at the beach for the first time. They finally took their first vacation and come back July ready to go. I'm hoping it's like that. I could be wrong. I would hate if I'm wrong. Boy, I would hate that. Because let me say this too. How do I say this though? I don't even know how to say it. So it's gonna sound like I'm saying the same thing, but I do say stuff different ways. That you hear me talk about a lot of times about not chasing the narrative, and I'm not the only person that says that, whatever. But here's the thing with me: if I'm chasing the narrative that's hot right now, as it's going up, as I'm putting say if I got 5,000 to put in there, I put $1,000 in, it's going up. I'm still putting money in as it's going up. So I'm losing a little percentage every day. So let's say if something in the span of 2 weeks pumped from $1 to $5, right? And I put 1,000 in at that dollar, but I'm slowly laddering in as it goes up, whatever that 5,000 I got or whatever. And let's say I go ahead and over the time span has went up. You know, my $5,000 has went up the 500% or whatever. But I'm just catching a little bit as it goes. So maybe I only come out with 380% that I made on it. That's 3.8x or whatever. So the $5,000 turns, well, let me do the math. Around $16,000, whatever. I'd rather be in front of the narratives that are not pumping right now. That's the type of investing I try to do. Like if the narrative's not pumping right now, a lot of people think that's bearish, and I want to be in what's pumping. What's the hottest thing right now? I like to sit if I have $5,000, I like to be able to sit it in that one pick early before the narrative runs, so I get the entire 500% increase. Hopefully that makes sense what I said. But that's what I'm trying to do. So I like being in the narratives that are not necessarily moving right now, whatever. I know everybody's chasing AI. I'm pretty sure AI is gonna have another pump and another pump after that and be pretty big. But I'm like, as I keep saying, I was saying earlier, I wish some of these AI plays that I know about, that I know are legit, that actually have teams and what else behind them. I'm waiting for them to come out, but they're annoying the crap out of me because they just don't want to launch. Like, I don't know. You go in the Discord and see what they're talking about, and they just keep beating around the bush. And I mean, I understand it. People want to come out when the market is hot, but yeah, that's why I want to be in front of the narrative. It's not really a big topic, but it's important. Um, oh, and this just said referring to not being greedy. Yeah, and you know what? Everybody says they're not going to do it, but then you see people do it. You know what I mean? So that's why I'd rather just talk and repeat the same boring stuff over and over to get some people's heads, because maybe it'll play back through their head when they reach that point in their journey. And if you don't think it's happened, if you go search Twitter, go search Twitter, go search Reddit, and the people who will tell you that it happens to them, because I don't want to say it like it's nothing. But especially last cycle, it was easy to make the 100x's because the market wasn't so saturated and you can kind of tell what was what. There's so many just fake BS projects out now that you really can't tell. But anyway, what I'm saying is 10,000 to 1 million is really, that's just 100x or whatever. I said just 100x loosely. But anyway, so there's a lot of people, you go read their stories, and sometimes I do it on board, that, yeah, they started with 10,000, 12,000, maybe 8,000, and worked their way all the way up to near $1 million. And then they got news of everybody. What's his name? Sorry, would it be Ben? Ben and them was talking about extended. Well, all the Bens. I feel like all the Bens got together to pump that last cycle. Like Cowan, Armstrong, and what's the other guy? All talking about the extended cycle, super cycle. And so a lot of these people talked about how they started with between $8,000 and $15,000 and worked up all the way to $1 million, and got greedy and like didn't take any profits or whatever. Like, I don't take profits much now. I know. And some people say I should do it now. Every once in a while I might take something out of a big bag to put in something else. But I know some people like, this is the local top or whatever, and this is just not how I do it, y'all. So maybe some people say it's not smart, but whatever. But anyway, they took like no profits at all. So they rolled like 10 grand up to $1 million, and then heard about the super cycle, was like, oh, I can make 2 million, 3 million from here, and then just watched it. And then the thing is, let me say this too. This is very important. So what happens is you take $10,000, you ride it up to $1 million. And so they said maybe the cycle will be longer, and maybe I'll get $2 or $3 million. Then the $1 million where they hit starts retracing. And what are you probably saying? Well, they could have took out 800,000. Nope, because what's happening, you scratch that dopamine itch. You've seen yourself with a net worth of $7 million, whatever, taxes, whatever. And then they're still like, no, it messes up your psychology. You're like, no, it's gonna go back to a million. It was just there. It's gonna go back 8,000. Then it drops to 600,000. No, man, it's just wrong. It's just a retrace. It's just a retrace. It's gonna go back up. Then you at 380,000. And they fight with it, and then they just can't look at it for a minute. Next thing you know, and if you go read the stories in your downtime, you'll see the people went down from $1 million and retraced all the way down to like 40 grand. And it's the saddest thing, bro. It's like saddest thing. You'll get some of them that like report it immediately, and their articles or their whatever, their blogs are like violent and they're mad. Then you got the other people who's crying and say, I could have did this for my grandmama and this, that, and other. So once again, none of y'all think it's gonna be you. I ain't that Zoe. I ain't that stupid Zoe. It ain't gonna be me. It's always the people that says it's not gonna be them. Trust me, it's always those people. So you just gotta keep this stuff in mind, not to be too greedy. I must have missed some comments. What Carl said, Lamborghini money, please. Oh yeah. No, as long as you make the real Lamborghini money. If you make just $700,000, don't buy a Lambo. Don't do that. Um, I don't know how I missed some of these. Carl again said, by the way, good morning, everyone. Um, Hazel, blessings. For those who will experience life changing gains, what are your thoughts on taxes as far as processing our own taxes or looking for a CPA? Not a lot of CPAs with crypto experience. Um, so I have I have one, but how to say this? So just like you said, not a lot of people were experienced with it. Had a good one, but I feel like this time I have three people in mind that I might use, and I'm gonna talk about this more on the channel later. That I want to use that I know for a fact have been in this a little bit longer, that were referred to me by people who've been in crypto either as long as me or longer than me. They like in the blockchain space. They invest in crypto themselves, and so they fully know better what to do there. So I would probably I'll probably put their information out there. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't mind the business or whatever. But as far as you got the softwares you use like CoinLedger or whatever, they are having a lot more competition this cycle, and that's why I really don't want to say anything now because I want to see, I want the best of the best when the cycle ends. And as you know, it's the same with blockchains. Like you might use CoinLedger before or whatever, but maybe somebody else comes out that's better or whatever. So that's why I want to talk about this stuff later in the cycle. But yeah, you definitely want to have somebody that's well versed on that, and it might just be that a handful of CPAs get all the business or whatever, but you want it to be done in the best way possible. Um, so you end up, but like I said, don't skip on it. I know some of y'all laughing right now. You're like, man, he tripping. I'm skipping that mess. But I'm not gonna skip my taxes. I know one thing. Listen, I don't think they're not gonna do that 40. What is it, 46%, 44%? They're not about to do that. Like I said yesterday, and I won't get into political stuff, bro. They are trying to lose. That is all I can say. They're actively trying to lose. That's all I can say about that. Your Friday stream is the least people in. I mean, it doesn't matter. Um, I want no issues with the IRS. Yeah, me neither. No issues with the IRS. Darren said, what if there will never be another alt season? Is that possible? As of now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be another alt season after this. Well, no, take that back. This one probably be maybe one of the last bigger ones, but I feel like next cycle is going to be all season too. But I feel like by the end, it actually will be more regulation. A lot of scammy stuff and these trash meme coins and stuff. They might have a harder time. I mean, it is decentralized, so but I feel like they're gonna. It's not. I don't think it's gonna be as lucrative as this one, but I could be wrong. I mean, some people said it last cycle. I didn't say it last cycle. I was thinking last cycle that this next cycle could be the last big one. But I mean, no, none of us know. I don't really care. I'm just trying to make the money I can right now. All I can do is focus on right now. I don't be trying to, think about that. Focus on what I can do right now to make money in the next couple of months or whatever. So that's all you really can do. But yeah, so like I said, this stream is pretty chill for Friday and stuff, and is what it is. But listen, guys, if you want to join a Patreon, somebody help you, somebody's to help you navigate this upcoming crypto market, you can join the Patreon at patreon.com/cryptozo. Do get in a lot of these picks early and just really trying to also focus on the perspective of the market and really trying to focus on how other people are investing, what they're going to think about the projects we're in, and what retail is going to probably be investing in, because it just can't be you bullish on it or whatever. You got to attract the other people into the projects. And like I talked about earlier, you don't want to be in market caps that are too high. You want to be in something that everybody, you probably was in it before them and sitting in it early. Maybe you only got maybe a 5 or 10x on it or whatever. And then you need that retail to come in and say, hey, even though they don't know you made a 10x already, but the market cap is still low enough for them to see themselves getting 100x off it. And maybe they can or whatever, to get you up to your 50 and 100x's or whatever. And like I said, don't overshoot your targets. I try to be pretty conservative with my targets. I tell people all the time, if you can 50x your entire portfolio, not just one play, your entire portfolio, you've done really well. Now, if you 100x your entire portfolio, and yes, we're shooting for 100x and 200x of our entire portfolios over here, but you got to realize, like, if you made 50x on your entire portfolio, you've done well. And on top of that, you got to pay attention to where you are in the cycle. So if you made a 50x and you know good and well, we probably at the end of the cycle, you should go ahead and be happy with that. And do what you do. A lot of fake AI plays out right now. Chatbot on their website and call it AI project. Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of projects are doing that right now. I don't know if it's going to work so well. Then probably actually the next AI run it might work. But when we get into real people, I don't know. It's just people gonna speculate, and like a lot of people are saying, AI is much more speculative. Like it's kind of like what meme coins and stuff in gaming was last cycle, and so a lot of people are afraid of it. To be honest, a lot of people are afraid of utility. To be honest, or betting on whether something's good at what it actually does. They much rather bet on something that's a blind bet. I don't know. That's not really me. Of course, we get in meme coins and stuff like that sometimes, but I kind of want to know what I'm investing in. But anyway, hope everybody has a great weekend. If you're not in the Patreon, join the Patreon. It's at patreon.com/cryptozo. And hope you guys have a great weekend. And don't get fearful. Don't let people shake you out the market. And see you guys next